everyone, and welcome back to another episode of JCT Talks.
Today we'll be talking about all sorts of gaming.
This is our 9th episode on JCT Talks.
Next week we are having our 10th episode and we are giving away the first season of WildFit.
Now, 75% of you are not subscribed watching, so if you all subscribe, we can have a huge giveaway.
Please subscribe to the channel and like this video.
Now, on to the podcast.
Today we're going to be talking about board games and video games. Jake, would you like to start us off?
Yes, I would love to start us off, Callum. This is a very exciting topic, and I have been waiting for it for a while. Gaming. Now, there are a lot of types of games. Before we started this podcast, Callum said, Jake, which type of gaming are we talking about? Now, whenever you first hear gaming, you think video games, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, all these different games. Well, we are going to be talking about that, but there's also board games, video games, physical games. If you want to check out our first episode, Sports Reopening, we talked about physical games and how they're reopening during the coronavirus times. And video games really been on a boom during coronavirus, and because people have been stuck inside, people have been getting Nintendo Switches. You have probably heard of them. Everyone wants to buy them. They have a bunch of different things. Animal Crossing. There are a bunch of different games that everyone wants to buy it because it's so huge and you can play so many games. It started with the Wii about 10 years ago. They had the Wii U, and it was, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Everyone wanted to play on it. Then Nintendo really took a fall. Then Nintendo Switch came out, and it went huge. And Xbox, the new Xbox refrigerator, they call it. I don't call it that. Then they have the PS5 coming out. It looks like a router. Now, this is a very controversial thing. People are against PS4 and Xbox, and I really don't care about it. I mean, both of them look very interesting. They are both consoles. They both do the same exact thing. There's definitely going to be an argument, but this is how the gaming world is. And there's also PCs, and PCs are huge right now because you can pretty much do anything, and it can be a laptop computer because you can do gaming on it and do your Google searches, work on your documents. You can do almost everything with a PC. And because PCs are so expensive, just the bottom of the line ones, $800 if you want pre-builts. And they can go up to $50,000. They're super expensive. And it depends on how fast you want it, how much storage you want it, how cool you want to look at. There's water-cooled, gel-cooled, air-cooled. There's a bunch of different things. But one of the things that people have been doing is building their own PCs. And this is so cool. And I'm very, very happy that they have this because you can cut the price of a PC in half because companies charge so much more for pre-built PCs. And I find this very, very interesting because, well, you pretty much need to have a PC, but somehow they make it so expensive. And it's the labor cost, the shipping cost. They have to get all those parts. They have to build it. And it really takes some skill to build a PC because if you put the wrong cord on the wrong thing, you put the computer chip in the wrong space, you got to take it all apart and redo it all. Now, there are these companies that will do it for you for a cheaper amount, and there's businesses that are starting. I will build PCs for you because it's so hard to do. And this is actually a great job. If you're an entrepreneur, this is a great business that people want. They want PCs, but they don't want to be overcharged. So they give you the parts, then you build the PC, which is amazing. It's a great idea. But I'm so excited about this, but it's still very, very pricey. The new PS5 is $500. There's all these things that are expensive. Gaming is very expensive. Esports, one of the largest video game things of all time, their prizes are $1 million, $10 million, $5 million. The Fortnite World Cup, a year ago, it was huge. The Summer World Cup, the winner got $1 million. That's crazy. That is a crazy amount of money just for gaming. That's just for winning their heat, their couple of rounds. And this is just a video game. And this is a complete way that you can make money. Now, there are people that I've been getting away from Fortnite and going to different video games. But there are also other games in these Xbox, and there's also VR headsets, which have been coming out a lot. But it's a whole industry is doing great right now, and you would expect it to be, and it's been doing great. At this time, I call it the digital technology age because everything is coming out. There's brand new things coming out every day, and it's doing great. The new VR headset for Oculus, the #1 leading brand in VR, is coming out in September. That's a brand new VR headset that they just developed. During the COVID-19, they still were on developing. And all these games are still being developed because it's such a big, everybody wants it. It's consumers, they want the games, they're willing to pay for it. There's Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Pass. There's all these things that people, they pay money for them, and this is how these companies make a lot of money. But that is just video games. There is so much more to talk about with board games and physical games. And video games only came out 2 decades ago, 1 decade ago, not that long ago. And you think about it, and it's crazy. If you want to watch our digital technology episode, we did a week ago, go watch that one. We talked about how technology has been going up on a rise. You want to watch this. There's these gaming, and we also have a gaming channel, JCT Games. It's great. This is all, people are making money with it. Twitch, Mixer, all these different places. You stream on them, and you make money. It's crazy how, and it's like YouTube. Once you get enough viewers, fans, stream watchers, you start making money. And video games, you really do make money with them because people are interested in the game. You want to learn. If you can't find something in a game, how do I complete this challenge? You look it up. I can guarantee if you play a game, you have looked up a way to play it. Where can I find this pass? Where can I find this? I can guarantee. And it's not considered cheating. I mean, it is considered cheating, but it's not technically considered because you can easily see it. But games, because it's the digital technology age, games have bugs in them. They have fixes that they need to make. There are people that can hack into the games and beat the system because it's not strong enough. And because video game places need to push out their things so fast because there's such a high demand, they skip over these things. We don't need to make this as high security. It takes an extra month to make it higher because you got to save all the memory. You got to make all this bots. You got to do all these. Hackers are able to get their way into the system, and then these games have to fix that, and they have to ban this person. They may end up going to court if it's bad enough, if it's financial. It's crazy how people can override systems because the demand is so high. And VR is huge right now. PlayStation, I should stop calling it PS4 even though it's their #1 console. At PlayStation, they have a VR headset. If you are used to it, it is a great VR headset, and I have used it once. I don't own one. My friend has one. I do not plan on getting a PlayStation soon. They are very expensive. To get a VR headset, it is the same exact price, may I tell you, same exact price to get the actual console. The PS5 is $500. Guess how much the VR headset is? I can't hear you. It's $400. That's insane. It's insane how you can get $1,000. And it's not considered, you may think, some people may say it's throwing away your money or it's not throwing away your money. It depends. It's like gambling. If you get to have the enjoyment of playing games and you get to have the enjoyment, it takes your time and it makes your money worth, well, that's what some people like. Some people don't like video games. Some people would rather spend their money on, save it up, and get a new couch, get a new dining set, get new different things. It's very, very interesting how video games can manipulate people's minds. Okay, well, that finishes me up on video games. Callum, I think it is your turn to talk about video games. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so like you were saying with how people can make money off video games, people can make money off video games, and it's insane how people can, some people can make their life off video games, and some people Like there's YouTube, and a lot of the successful YouTubers on YouTube are gamers, and they make money off playing games for people. And it's very interesting how that works. But what else people can make money off is physical games, like sports. And I know that we had the sports reopening, and we brought up sports a couple times, but technically sports are a sort of game because you're playing a game, and that's a sport. It's just like, and it's very interesting. Like you can, if you make it to like the pros of the sport, like football or soccer or hockey or baseball, then you can start making money off of that. You can, you can sign contracts. You can make your life off of that, which is very interesting. Doing something that you love. Same with video games, and you can also make money off board games. There's chess tournaments. Maybe even I think there's bingo tournaments, right? There's all these different types of games, of tournaments that you can play and win prizes from. So all sorts of games you can make money off, and normally it's a lot of money, like lottery. That's a sort of game, kind of. But you can just make money off basically every sort of game out there. There's some games that some games that people can make up. Like there are games that you can play out like school with a friend. Like let's just say you like make up a game, and then other people do it, and everyone does it. And it's that's how a lot of games start in the first place. Like let's just say you and your friend are on the playground after school one day, and then you go, and then you find a tennis ball, and you make up a game where you throw the tennis ball up. I don't know. And when you throw the tennis ball up, whoever catches it first, gets a bike, and then that can pass on through that school, and then all the kids at that school will be doing it, and then they'll pass it on to other people at other schools, and then it'll just be like a thing that goes on and on. That's how a lot of school games happen, and a lot of just other games. I don't know how rock, paper, scissors started, but Mr. Beast a while ago had a tournament for rock, paper, scissors, and you could make money off of that. So basically every game you can make money off of, and you can, and you have to just be good at it. Or in some games go on luck, like rock, paper, scissors. That's just luck. There's no really strategy to rock, paper, scissors. I think that there are some strategies. I've heard of some, but a lot of games happen on luck. Although a lot of video games and board games and physical games don't, you need skill for those. You need to have skill for those sorts of games. You need to know what to do. You need to think ahead of time. You need to know everything before you do everything. And that's very interesting. That's how you have to be good at it. Then you could also be really bad at games and make money off of that. If you have a YouTube channel, you could just film yourself doing stupid things in video games, and get 1 billion views on that video. Who knows? And that is another way of playing video games or board games or physical games, or just get games with your friends. There are water games. Like if you're at the ocean or a pool, you can go in the water with your friends, and there are different games that you could do. I know that you could do like basketball in the water, that you can set up like a basketball hoop. There's like volleyball, and then there's like sharks and minnows. That is one. And there's a lot of games that you can do anywhere. You can do lawn games, you can do table games, and all sorts of different games that are happening. So when you think of gaming, you normally think of video games, because that's what is most popular now, since it's all coming out, it's all exciting, everybody wants it, and that's what normally people think of. But when you really think about it, there's a lot of sorts of gaming out there. There's board games, and then there's physical games, and then there's just like games that you can make up with your friends, and that is very interesting to those stuff. Like Jake was saying how people, and I know I was talking a lot how people can make money off of different games, and that's not all you can do. It's more for the enjoyment. If you can enjoy something, you can play something, be really good at it, but maybe not do any tournaments or anything, because you just enjoy the game. You don't really want to go into a tournament or anything. You just enjoy the game and just play it because you enjoy it. And you might, you don't spend $100 on the game buying stuff for the game to make you look cooler. you just enjoy the game, how it is and how you play it, and you may be really good. And that is very interesting. Jake, and that's going to finish me up. So, Jake, would you like to add anything?
Yes, and I like it how you went on the different types of games that you can play. And it is I love it how you said about how it goes, the different definitions. And gaming, when you just think of game or game definition, the actual definition is a form of play or sport, especially a competitive one, played according to the rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck. Now, see, that definition, you can have anything. A lot of things fall under that definition. Now, you can make up a game. Challenges are games when you think about it. They're mini games. If they're in a large video game, they can be games. If you have to go to a destination, that's a game. If your friends are challenging you, who can get the most points by the end of the day, who can get the most rewards, anything by the end of the day, that's a game. There's all these things that can be made into a game. In sports, there are not only in that definition it says a sport, and sports aren't the only game that is a physical game. And I like it how Callum brought up the physical and how you can make money. But with sports, there's also comes dangers. So if you know football, soccer, just to name a few, these are very dangerous. You see these players that they can't play for the next season because they tore their hamstring. They broke a bone. They did something, and they're playing for a lot of money. Patrick Mahomes, he was just signed to the Kansas City Chiefs, $500 million for 10 years. Think about what you can buy with $500 million. Just think about it. For 10 years, that's $50 million a year. It is $50 million. I haven't been to school recently. My math. But that's crazy how much money that is. And there's these calculations, you're making like $1,000 a second. It's something crazy. And Jeff Bezos, we talked about him in our business and advertising episode 2 weeks ago. Check that one out. He is also making a lot of money, but he is playing a game. The stock market, you've probably heard of it. It's been going up and down, the Great Depression, that's the stock market. All these events, the stock market is a game. And there may be skill, there may be luck to it. It's pretty much playing the lottery. And I like it how Callum brought up the lottery, how that's a game. It is 100% a game. It's gambling. Gambling is a game. There is enjoyment in it. You're more likely to be struck by lightning than win the lottery. There's all these odds. Oh, you're more likely to be in this than win the lottery. It's interesting. And the lottery, like the jackpot's like 500 million, 500 this. It's crazy how much money you can make with the lottery. But physical games, you can get injuries, and you may be making a lot of money, but it can hurt your life. And all these games can hurt you in some way if you lose. If there's not always a winner in these games. In video games, you can have your heart broken if you lose a match. That's a thing. You can injure your eyes if you're looking at a bright screen. There are health injuries. There are mental injuries, heartbroken. There are a lot of different injuries that you can have. Physical sports, you can break a leg, you can tear a hamstring, heartbroken if you lose a game. There are a lot of things that can hurt if you play these games. There's consequences. But board games, there are family fights. There are nothing that can go wrong. No, there's a lot of things. If you've ever played Monopoly, there's always something that happens with there. It's very interesting how these games, there's always a consequence. There's a winner. It's very interesting how people think about it. And board games are a lot of fun. And like Tom said, there are millions of board games, and people are inventing them. They're game design. It's a very, very cool thing. And there's actual jobs that specifically design games. And there's all these things. Life the game. There's a lot of fun things. Catan, I would highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun. If you've ever heard of this thing called GameCon. Now, whenever I was thinking of this episode, I never thought of GameCon. And then it struck me. GameCon. It's the name of the episode that we're doing. And it is a great place to go to. I've never been to it. I have seen pictures. I would like to go to it. My cousin goes to it every year, and he always brings back board games. They see cosplay, they see all these different things. And GameCon isn't just board games. It is also video games. There are life-size games. There are a lot of things. But the gaming, it has gone back millions. The first humans had games. Cavemen, think about it. They could draw on the wall, tic-tac-toe. There's all these different games that people can play. And it's dated back so long, there's no actual date that game started. But there are these major board games that have been going along. And think about it, if you are on a ship coming from a country in the 1600s, think about whenever John Smith, he came from England to the New World, or now the United States of America. What do you think he did? 2 months stuck on a ship. What would you do on a very tight area and you're stuck with 100 sick people? What do you think that they had? They, of course, had games. They had checkers, one of the easiest and hardest games to play. There's always a winner and a major loser. They usually get their heart broken because, games hurt. If you lose and someone is mean, well, then you cry. My uncle once beat me at checkers and it made me cry. Still have that to that day. But, right, there's these games and there's a winner and a loser. And technically, you can win in some way. Playing a team sport, it's huge because you have a lot of fun. And it's very interesting how these games are played. And just think about just the rules. In the definition of games, there is a thing that says with rules. Think about football. Think about all the rules that they have in football. Think about all these things. You might not even know all the rules to some sports because there's so many. And definitely referees, I will say it's a thankless job, but they know all the rules. That's their job. They get paid for the World Cup. If you're a referee, you get paid $100,000. You get paid a lot of money to referee games. And it's crazy amount. And they have to be able to run. They have to be able to go in overtime. It's a very, very hard job. But there's these specific jobs that have to go with gaming. But it's esports players. Then you have to have the announcers. Then you have to have the people that design the video game. You have to have the people that think of the idea. You have to have the person. It goes on and on. There's an infinite list. And if you think about, no, it's just a game designer. Well, think about it. The game designer has to have, if it's a video game, you have to have a person that can do cybersecurity. You have to have a person that can design the pixels. It goes on and on, like I said. And games have made a huge job market in a lot of countries. Because gaming is so popular, it's very high in demand, like I said. But any games, there's no actual definition of a game. If you have ever played Marco Polo in a pool, that is a game. There are a lot of different games that people can play. Hunting and fishing. Watch that episode. We're giving away a free season of WildFed. Our next episode, the 10th episode. Go check that one out. Stay tuned. WildFed, it's a great show, and they have to live out in the wilderness. And hunting, it's a game. It's a game sport. Now, they're actually people that hunt for game is the name, but there are the goal, there's an objective, and it requires skill. I just learned how to do archery, and I do not intend of killing an animal in my life. Well, I am not a vegan, but I do not want to kill an animal. But it's these games. There's archery games. If you've ever watched the Olympics, it is one of the largest sporting events in the world, and there's millions of games. But that's all games. And it's crazy how you just think about it. I challenge you, this is a game, to go on the internet and just find as many games as you can. And I just made you have a game. And your game, you can challenge a game. You can make different things. You can design your own game. I designed my own once. It was called the restaurant game. It was very, very fun. And there's a lot of games. There's on TV. if you've ever watched TV, raise your hand if you've watched TV. When you're watching at home, raise your hand if you watch TV. Yep, I see those millions of hands that watch JC TeaTalks. There are a bunch of game shows, because you've probably heard of it, game shows. And Supermarket Sweep is a huge one. People like to watch it. Master Chef Junior, Chopped Junior. I may or may not have been on Chopped Junior, and it was a lot of fun. But that is a game. Think about it. And there's preparation. That game requires skill. The lottery, it's luck. Well, there's sometimes skill. There's odds that you can play. But it's a very interesting game, and comes out a winner, losers. You never know if a number is even going to be drawn. The lottery companies make billions of dollars a year, and they have that jackpot, and not every single time a number is called. So there's these games that there's never a winner. There's always a winner. In my heart, everyone's a winner. But Callum, he probably has some with baseball. That's his sport that he plays. And I play soccer. And there's a winner, there's a loser, because there's two different teams that play against each other. And Callum, have you ever won baseball?
Like won games?
Yeah, have you ever won a game?
Yeah, actually, fun fact, me and my team won the championship this year.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
Now, the last soccer team I played on, 2 years ago, we lost every single game. Now, it made me very sad, but it's a great learning experience to lose. And it's not, I mean, no one likes to lose, but it's a learning experience. And you can learn, oh, this is what losing is about. You have to be a good loser. You have to be a good winner. At the end of all my soccer games, now we don't do it because of COVID-19. Stay 6 feet, wear a mask. You high-five the other team. You just go through and just high-five everyone. Good game, good game. There's always that one kid in line that's always like got their head down. They're like, I don't want to give a high-five. Well, that is, I mean, everyone has done that before. I'm not saying I have. I have not. I have definitely purposely not high-fived someone before. But that is okay. Well, it's not good sportsmanship. Do not take from me. But it's just a game. You have to realize that it's just a game. But everything is a game. Almost everything is a game. And it is just a game, but there's nothing to rage over. Video games, you've probably seen a video of someone throwing their controller at the screen, taking their keyboard and smashing it everywhere, doing anything, and it hurts them. And then, like, an hour later, when they're calmer, and they go back to the room after they've rage quit, they come back and they see their broken keyboard, and they say, oh, great, now I got to buy another $40, $50 keyboard. That's $50 out. And it's going to actually add up if you rage quit too much. Because if you're doing that every day, well, you might as well just have a drawer of keyboards. You just go, okay, broken one. But they're expensive. Gaming is expensive, and everything is expensive that you do. And that is my takeaway. I do have a little more to add, but Callum, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, like you're saying how people can rage, throw their keyboard all over their room instead of carefully take out every piece and look like they destroyed it. A lot of people do that, and it's because they're very mad. They're like, oh, I was so close. I could have done that. If I didn't do this, I could have won that, and it happens a lot with video games because normally video games, when you're on video games a little too long, you get a little grumpy. You could be in the middle of a video game and then your mom walks in the room, is like, hey, honey, can I make you some popcorn? You're like, not now, Mom. You get a little grumpy. And that's a fact. And a lot of gamers have gotten better at that. And yeah, so with the gaming, like the PC, something that would be smart to have if you're a gamer in your office room is a punching bag. So then when you're mad, you can just get up from your seat and punch the punching bag, and then that does no harm. Because then you could just punch the punching bag and then you feel better. Because when you get that stress out, you just want to punch something, and then you can just turn around and punch the punch bag, then you feel a little better. And then you can take a deep breath in and go back to your game. So yeah. Jake, would you like to add anything?
I like it how you said a punching bag because I think that's a great idea. Like just turn around and just punch something. I mean, if you ever don't have a punching bag, I would not recommend punching anything else because there are expensive things. But that is a great idea, stress reliever, and they have these things. Stress is a real thing, and with gaming, gaming can be a thing of stress. That's why you should take a break from gaming. Like Callum said, if you play for too long, you can get frustrated, angry, and I mean that's the cause of everybody. If you lose too much, that's true. But gaming, in my opinion, it's all about playing with your friends, playing with people, meeting new friends. If you're an online gamer, there's no judgments online. I found you just play. It's just fun. You play. You win. You lose. Your teammates. I mean, they could be mean. I mean, they could swear. I mean, and then that's when you report them. But there's these things that happen. But with physical, you can be injured, and how I talked about that earlier. And there's healing processes that they have with these, and that's why they have therapy lessons sometimes for people because you need them, and that's how games can do that to you. But gaming has gone back so far, and like I said, there's no actual date. But every single country has their own games. They have a variant of things. If you've ever heard of Monopoly, there's a good chance you have. Monopoly, just think about how many variants they have. Fortnite Monopoly, Animal Monopoly. There's a bunch of different Monopolies that you can have because Monopoly is one of the games that you can change anything. And frankly, with any game you can. Chess, think about it. You just have the pawns, the king, the queen, the castle, the horse. I don't use the actual names because I like to talk about the diagonal thing. The diagonal piece. Yep, yeah, I know that the diagonal piece. Yep. Well, that is a piece, and guess what? It can be changed. That could be a monkey. The king could be a giraffe. The queen could be a lion. You could change it for really anything. Like the pawns could be alligators. There's variants of games, and that's how copyrights have been made. Now, Fortnite, they go to Mr. Monopoly. And Mr. Fortnite goes to Mr. Monopoly and says, "Hello, Mr. Monopoly. I would like you to make a Fortnite Monopoly." And he says, "Okay, well, there's a legal process." And this is how a lot of people get in trouble. You copy something and there's copyright, and that is one thing that bites people in the back because it is illegal to copy something and sell it as your own. If you give credit, now you should give credit to everything that you have. And plagiarism, it's real. That can get you kicked out of college. That can make you fail a entire study. It can hurt you. You should always give credit to what you're getting things from, because it's hard because you have this idea, but almost everything there can make a variant of it, and almost every game. Fortnite, for example, they have dances, they have skins, they have emotes. Emotes are dances, and they have music in the game. They have different things. They have gotten sued multiple times, and it's not good. Have you ever heard of the floss? You most likely have. About 2 years ago, it was huge. 3 years ago, it was huge. The floss. And Fortnite had that as an emote. And the Backpack Kid, known for the floss, sued. And because Fortnite took it without asking. And a little life lesson, you should never steal things without someone's permission. And that's what happens with games. And businesses and advertising. Go check out that episode. Businesses, they get copyrighted. There are permits. There are different things. You can get sued. You can lose more money than you make. Not good. But there are pros and cons of gaming, and we talked about a lot of those. But like the injuries, like the nice things, the bad things, and it's very, very interesting. Callum, I have finished my part. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, like you're saying how there are so many types of games and stuff, 2 games and luck games and physical games and mental games. There are so many types of games out there, and I think, like I was saying earlier about how when you're mad, you should just put all that to like a punching bag, or to be a little cheaper, a pillow maybe, or your bed. Something, that's definitely good. And I know when I was playing baseball, there was some people, and when they struck out, they were kind of mad. They were pretty mad, and they were like throwing their helmet, and they were mad. And everyone, if you strike out, you're always mad, and you just feel so. You either feel bad or you're mad. You either keep that in your head, or you relieve it all, throw your stuff. And I think it would be really cool if you had a punching bag or something to punch when you're down. So then whenever you're mad, you can just do that. And then that would just be probably a little cheaper even, because, you don't want to break your bat or your helmet or anything. That one, you could do that, and you can get mad so many ways. Like if you're a chess player and you're at a chess tournament and you lose, and you're so mad, you just slam up the chessboard in their face. Then you would feel maybe kind of bad later on. Maybe you'd be like, sitting in your bed that night, and you can't go to bed because you feel kind of bad, or of what you did, or you're just like, I could have maybe actually won that, or that was kind of expensive. Who knows? And then in gaming, the same thing. You break your PC, and then you're like, you know what? That was not smart. That's just expensive, and all my rage was on that. I should have just laid cool. And it's really hard to lay cool. And I know you've heard that so many times. Like, I can do that. I'm going to play for an hour today. I can play for an hour today. And I'm going to play for an hour today. I'm not going to get mad. And the first game you play, let's just say you'll die. And then you're kind of like, I'm fine. Second game, you explode the moon. And that's always happened, because like on video games, you can get a little grumpy, like I said, when you're on the screen a little too long. You get grumpy, and then that's normally what causes rage, because you've been playing a little too long. And parents, so it'd be nice if you were gaming for a long period of time, if you were streaming even, it would be nice to just have your window open so you can look out at nature, just take a second, because that just helps you calm. Just look at if just looking at nature helps your body calm down. Breathe in, breathe out, whatever helps you stay calm. And it's not just gaming or video games that makes you rage. You can rage in all sorts of sports, like I was saying earlier, and that's just a fact. Gaming can just make you mad all sorts of ways, or make you happy. Sometimes if you lose a game, then you're normally more sad than mad. If you lose a video game, then you're normally more mad than sad, because then you think about all the stuff that you could have done better. You could have been like, wait, I could have done this at this point, and then I could have won. Why didn't I do that? You put all that stress on you, so then you make yourself mad at yourself, and it's not that good. That's why you just need to sometimes just take a chill pill and relax. And it's very hard to do that. It's very hard to do that. And what the thing is with the lottery, so many people enter the lottery. People have a daily routine of going to the gas station, buying a lottery ticket. That's their daily routine, And when they lose, they're just kind of like, whatever, And actually, how a lot of people, apparently, the lottery has ruined a lot of people's lives. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard this, but it's just like made them so mad, because like then a lot of their family comes. Like, I've heard these stories about like family trying to steal their money, or old friends that are like, hey, I heard that you won the lottery, so I'm kind of in debt, so can you maybe give me some money? And and like then you get all of that stress on you, people wanting your money, and it's never fun. So that's why. And like it normally is bad for you. And like also sometimes you don't feel like you earn the money, because you just bought a ticket and then you won all this money, and then you feel like you didn't earn it. Where through games like video games or board games or physical games, you earn your money, because you play and you earn it, and then you feel good about it, and you don't even care about it at the end of the day. You just think about what you did good and how happy you are that you won, not really about money. That's how stuff can really happen throughout people's lives, and that's why it's very interesting how gaming can make people really happy and really sad. And I think gaming and games are really important to the world because physical games can give you exercise and you can get fit and you can, and you can have entertainment because like games help you entertain, and then physical game and then board games and video games all help you with boredom and way other stuff like feeling good. And gaming can help you. I heard like apparently with video games can help you with a few things like mentally. Physical games can help you mentally. Uh, and a lot of stuff can help you mentally, apparently, that you probably never know about. And even when you think about it, you don't ever thought about those things, which is very interesting. That's why the internet has a lot to say. But it's very interesting how all sorts of gaming has developed over the time. I don't know how long board games have been around. They've probably been around for a long time now. But people, when they were bored, that's what they did. They played board games with their friends, or they made up games, or physical games. And then nowadays, we have this new thing called video games, and that helps us with that too. And, and then, like, there's business games like Jake was talking about with Jeff Bezos. And then there's all sorts of different games in the world that is very interesting. Podcasting, that can be a game. It can be a very tough one, and it's very interesting to do. And everything. Drinking tea can be a game. You can do a tea drinking game, and that's a game. You can probably do a grass eating game. Who knows? You can just look and think of all the different stuff you could do. Apparently, boredom. When you're bored, some of the greatest ideas have happened from that. You could just be sitting down on your bench and then just staring for an hour, and an hour later, you could be planning something, the whole game, and then you bring that to life, and then look at you now. You're pursuing this dream. So sometimes boredom can be a good thing. Other times it's just awful, but sometimes it can be a good thing, and sometimes just sitting outside every day, away from electronics or any sort of game, even physically games, and just sit outside and just look at nature. And if you don't have nature, then like try to find nature. You need it. Nature is always just good to look at for a little bit, or some swimming. That can help. Just whatever. Obviously, it could be different for everyone. But gaming and games can very help people and or put people down. And I think it's helped everyone that's done gaming for about a year. It's done both. I think like even some of the best gamers in the world have played a video game, and they won a whole tournament. They won the World Cup, and then the next year they're like, I'm gonna play that game again. They get on it and they lose their first game. And they're like the best gamer ever, and that's fine because a lot of the best gamers in the world lose games. A lot of best athletes in the world lose games. Everyone loses, and I mean, if you haven't lost in ever, then I mean, wow, that's insane. But like, and the thing is with an athlete, if you're like an athlete, then normally you have to rely on other people because that's a team sport. And like one athlete can't change the whole team around. I mean, maybe mentally, and that's somehow because like with games, you have to have the right space in your mind, because if you get put down, if you think of yourself as bad at the game, you say to yourself, I am awful, I hate myself, I'm so bad at this game, I can't deal with it anymore. You're never gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna make yourself mad. And that's why you always need to have the right process. So maybe if every game you should just take a break or just move on. It's really up to you. So yeah. And I think that's going to finish me up. So if Jake would like to add anything before he does, let's take a sip of our tea because we are juicy tea talk.
Yes.
Good tea.
Good.
So, Jake, you can add or say anything you want.
Yes. So, I like it how you went to sports. And the first board game, I like it. I said I don't know when it was made. The Egyptians actually made it. So, that's a long time ago. 3500 BC. That is when it happened, which is crazy. That means that board games have been going on for a long time. And I like it when you said when you're bored, you play board games. Ha 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 ha. No, yeah, no one's laughing. Yeah, no pun intended. But it's pretty funny. And golf, the PGA Tour just happened this weekend. One of the biggest golf tournaments ever. The biggest. And it went great. I liked watching it. And that is a single person sport. And it requires a lot of skill. But a lot of anger happens in that. And you definitely could hear golfers getting super mad. And mistakes are always made. Because that is a very high competitive sport. Because there are millions of dollars on the line. And you can get hundreds of millions of dollars just by getting a sponsor. Because everyone wants to be a sponsor of the best PGA Tour golf player. Because, like, Callaway Golf, if they're like, oh, I want to sponsor, like, this person. Well, then you got to, like, pay $500 million or something crazy if you want the player. Think of golf as football. Think of golf, not the sport, not the rules, not the game. Think of it as the paycheck. Think of it as like soccer. Now, it's like teams. It's like a team sport, but Callaway is a team. Nike is a team. Puma is a team. All these companies are a team, and they're trying to get players to have, oh, I'll wear a Callaway hat for you. Oh, I'll wear a Bridgestone hat for you. Like that. NASCAR, if you ever watched it, look at those cars. Do you see how many advertisements are on those? Look at our business and advertisements episode. And there's so many ads on those. Mountain Dew. There's all these companies that there's one big company, and then it's got millions of other little stickers that are like, oh, look at this, look at this. It's like little things. And it's crazy how many ads are out there. And this is the sponsors of games. And gaming is one of the most expensive things out there. Because to watch it, think of the Super Bowl. We did sports reopening when we talked about football. Sports reopening, the Super Bowl. It is super expensive to get a ticket to actually watch it. But that is why we have a TV. You can watch it for free on a channel, which is amazing. And how gaming has improved so much. And new sports have been invented. New board games have been invented. There's a lot of different things that have been invented. And I think that should be your takeaway of the episode. Remember what we talk about. Remember the different games, the sports, the board games, the different virtual video games. Remember all these games. Thank you very much for watching the 9th episode of JC TeaTalks.
Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video.
Now, we are having our giveaway for the 10th episode, which is the next episode. It's a huge moment for us. 10 episodes. It's crazy. We're going to look back on this day and say, when we're on our 100th episode, and say, oh my gosh, we did that. During this quarantine, we filmed 10 episodes of JCT. Crazy. And that's why to thank you for subscribing and watching, tuning in on Wednesdays. We are giving away a season of WildFed. Cal, would you like to talk a little bit more about WildFed?
Yeah, WildFed is a TV show podcast. If you go back to our hunting and fishing episode, you can learn more details about WildFed we have, and you can find it to watch for yourself. We're having a giveaway for the first season free for WildFed, which which is going to be big and amazing, and we hope that you guys participate. To find out how you win that, we will talk about that in the 10th episode. And then we will reveal the winner on the 11th episode. So that'll be very exciting and spooky wooky. But also make sure to follow our Instagram and our Twitch, which we do a gaming stream every once in a while, and drop those a follow. That would be greatly appreciated.
And thank you very much for watching the JCT Talks podcast. We will see you next Wednesday.